probably heard the word engineering before, and you've probably been told it's pretty important. But what exactly is engineering, and who exactly is an engineer? Engineers are people who design and build things that we use every day. However, they don't just go building the first thing that comes to mind. They work hard to make something we need, and they want to do a good job of it. So how do engineers decide what they need to build? Well, in most cases, they start with a question. Here's an example. Say you live on a space station, and something outside breaks. Obviously, you need to go outside and fix it, but how exactly do you do that? That's a great question for engineers. Once they've got a good handle on things, they'll start imagining ways to solve the problem. They'll come up with all kinds of ideas, and some that might even seem a little crazy. That's important because sometimes the craziest idea is the one that works best. After coming up with these ideas, they'll pick a few that make the most sense. Next, they'll start drawing a plan. Depending on the idea, the plan can be very simple or very complicated. But the important part is the plan itself. A good plan helps engineers focus on what they're making and, most importantly, why. Now the engineers get to have some real fun. They get to create something. It's important to stick to the plan, though, so the idea doesn't go too far off course. Once they've built it, then they have to test it. Experimentation is very important because it's here that engineers learn what works and, well, what doesn't. And while it's great when something goes right on the first try, it's actually good when things don't, because that gives engineers a chance to go back and improve on their original idea. And improve they will until they've solved the problem. So the next time you've got a problem to solve, whether simple or complicated, there's probably a team of engineers ready to create something to solve it. And nobody solves engineering problems quite like NASA.
Welcome once again to our Becoming Your Mom support group.
Teddy. What you doing?
Oh, Bully. Well, hello. I'm just taking a look-see at some of our many national wildlife refuges.
One? How many are there?
There are over 500 refuges in the National Wildlife Refuge System. Why, there is one near every major city in the United States. Take a look. We have refuges all across this great country. Special places where the needs of the wildlife come first.
What kind of wildlife live at these refuges?
All kinds. Refuges protect every kind of plant and animal, from bears to bison, loons to sea otter. Wildlife refuges protect goats, owls, even geese. Why, all the animals in the United States can find home at our national wildlife refuges.
Well, that sounds great for the wildlife.
Ah, but refuges are for people, too.
Wow! How can I find a refuge near me?
Just log on to www.fws.gov.
All right, Teddy. I think these guys might know the way. I'm off to find a new home. Hey, guys! Wait up!
Bully.
By an infant navy.
Let me ask you something. 1798 to 1805. Now, that seems mighty far away and long ago.
Yes, it was. But these wars were proving grounds for the great fleets to come. They schooled commanders and their crews for future struggles and convinced the country that ocean commerce had to be protected by a navy. Let's go back to the year 1783.
Well, another question. What was going on then?
The British left New York at the end of the Revolution. The Treaty of Paris was signed. 8 years of struggle were over. American independence was won. In New York, Washington said farewell to his battle-tested officers. In Annapolis, he resigned his commission as commander-in-chief. He'd been first in war.
And now he was first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen.
Yes, he retired as a private citizen to farm his fields at Mount Vernon.
Well, who are these folks here?
A veteran's family. Home came the fighter, the soldier, and the sailor.
Was that the size of our Navy?
Not even one ship was left. Victory over Britain appeared a hollow one. There was the weak central government. It had no power to tax. It relied on requests to the states. And with no common enemy to fight, the 13 states raised tax barriers, almost waged open war against each other. England refused to consider her former colonies as a truly independent nation. Foreign trade suffered. England, France, and Spain closed West Indian ports to United States ships. Unemployment followed. Debts. Veterans lost their homes and farms. Many sought new opportunities in the West. In 1786, in Massachusetts, revolt flared in Shays' Rebellion.
Appears to me something had to be done.
Do you know if Ellie's coming today?
I told you no.
Huh?
I already told you no.
Oh, you said no?
I told you that Eloise is not coming unless you have someone.
When you came in this morning, you told me that? I didn't hear you.
So I see.
We are often told, God loves you. But what does that really mean? That some impersonal force, galaxies away, may consider you from time to time? Or that you are a single drop in a vast ocean of humanity, and God cares for all of it? There are billions of lives, billions of stories. Can we really believe He has great destinies planned for all of them? Surely the ruler of the universe has more important affairs than to notice the needs of one singular individual. But hear this, nothing could be further from the truth. When God says, I love you, it means that He crafted every detail of your being. Your every feature is His perfect design. His mind perceives your worries and your thoughts.